Well, hello! Welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist. Join with hubby.
Okay.
And fur babies, as long as they stay nice and calm. And today we are working on final details. I know we don't have anybody in yet. The time change always throws all of us off.
Even 6 watching now.
Does it? Huh. Okay. Well, hello. Because I'm not seeing anybody in chat. Maybe. Yeah. They just haven't started chatting yet.
2 thumbs up already.
Okay, cool. So today we are working on the final details and erasing the rest of the graphite. I've erased the graphite on the back and I've actually wiped it down with denatured alcohol. It still needs to go darker, and I've spent about 10 hours last week. Yeah, it's been about 10 hours pushing hard to get the background in. It's still not where I want it to be, but my goal is to get everything up to where I want it so we can erase everything, and then if it needs more adjustments, we'll do that. Because next week I'd like to add the color. Hey Sheila, hey Spence. Alright, they're here. So that's what we're going to get started. I'm going to start with my 18. Oh, the photo right here. This is where we ended the live last week. And this is where I'm at now. After about 10 hours. I think I'm doing pretty darn good. Still needs a lot more darkening. But we can actually see our subject. It's popping out. Hey, Michelle. So we're going to get started. And if you're new, don't forget to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Oh, that's it. If you're new, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button real quick. And I have the hype button on. I don't know how many people know about it. I don't really know all too much, but you can hit hype, and the more hype a video gets, the more likely it's going to be pushed out to other people so that we can bring more people into burning, which would be awesome. So please hit the hype button. Alrighty, so I'm going to start with the 18S on 3, but first we're going to check real quick with our fingernail. We're just going to rub, see if there's any carbon on it. I don't feel any carbon. Again, I am careful with the temperature that I use so that I don't create carbon on my tip, if at all possible. At much higher settings, it happens. It happens to everybody. Looks like all good. This pen right here is, I think, about 5 years old, and my constant, and it always surprises Pat when he sees photos of where it's currently at because of how much I take care of it. Yeah. It just amazes him, which makes me proud because it means I'm taking care of my babies. Alright, so we're going to turn that on, hit at 3. We're going to pull the photo from last week off. I just wanted to show everybody where it was at so you could see the difference.
Spence wants to know what the hype button is. Where is that? What is
it? The hype button should be by the like button. It should say hype. Is it not on your screen?
It is not.
I have it turned on. Can you scroll up? Huh. Maybe lives can't be hyped until after they are. Oh, yeah, it may be watching on replay. You can click the hype button, but lives may not be hyped. I think that's what that is.
Okay.
So like last week's video, you should see the hype button. Alright, first we're going to focus on the glass because that is our main focus. So we're going to get moving right into there. I'm going to angle it a bit. And I have the sepia photo up because that's what we're adjusting with now, that we know the details. I have erased a lot of the graphite, but until I wipe it down and maybe erase a little bit more, it's still going to show. I'm going to touch down an area that I've already burned in. I'm going to move you guys up. There we go. And we are going to start darkening up our cup. Pull some heat while I look at my photo. My darkest area is in here. So my goal now that everything is blocked in is to push this past the ugly stage. It's been in the ugly stage for quite some time now. So I'm ready for it to move on. So right here in the middle we have our darkest area. Hey Wanda! So I want to get that darkened up. So I am trying to go both with the shape of the cup as much as I can, but also go along with the grain, because I have been fighting the grain. And I'm going to pull out. There is burning along here. It's just really light. I'm going to slow down a bit. And wherever this gets dark, I'm just going to make this part darker. In fact, I can see some graphite, so we'll quickly erase right there. Just so I'm not burning it into the grain. So I'm going up and down across the grain, and then I'm going to go with the grain. Remember, using excuse me, a wax-free graphite, true graphite paper is going to allow for easy removal. So we're going to go all the way to about here with our lightest edge, remembering it's right along here. I'm going to do some more burning on the pumpkin. That way when I erase even more of the cup line, the glass line, we'll get that glow, which is what I want. But we have cream color, looking at our reference, we have cream color all the way to about here. And I really want to do that curve on the cup with this. And it may be hard for you to see. I can see it more in person than maybe you guys can see on camera. But it is darkening. Leaving a few areas for the lighter bubbles. But even if I don't, it will still come out looking like there's bubbles in here. And with the oval stroke and being a little more liberal with my strokes, we'll get that texture. You could also use a ball tip for that texture as well. Let's see here, we're going to blend that line a little bit more. So I'm just going back and forth. Whew. If you're warm, you can cut off the heater. I put it on mainly for you.
Are you warm?
I am warm, but I'm also under the lights and moving.
Give me a second.
If you're not warm, leave it on.
No, I can turn it off. It's fine.
I don't even know what the temperature in here is right now. Alright, we got to bring it all the way down underneath our stem. But leave some light underneath because we've got a bit of a glow. Thank you. I've also got a hat on too.
I do too.
You see, the more I burn in this area, the more my leaf will stand out. The leaf does still need burning. It's just blocked in enough. So now I can pull some more darks out here. I'm flat right now. I'm still moving pretty quickly because this isn't an overly smooth texture. So I can be a little messy with my stroke. And it will look like the coffee that I want it to look like. In fact, it's darker right here looking at your guys' screen. So the darker I go, the more what I just put in. If it looks a little dark, which on screen for you guys it doesn't, it will lighten up because of these darks. Looking at my reference, I need to pull it out a little bit more. So right now I'm at the top half of my tip, as flat as I can get it without being fully flat. And just trying to build up some darks. That's what these final details are about, is building up our darks and getting everything balanced. And we can see how much lighter this has started. Again, you guys have bright lights, but even by doing what I just did, I can see I need to go darker. Up on the tip. And the more I go over something, even with this stroke, it's going to smooth it out. Got a dark there. I'm not going to worry about where I get darks because we have stuff floating in the coffee. Also, it's not a flat color or tonal value. Let's turn it this way and see how dark it looks for you guys. Definitely needs more darks. And I found the wood likes to be burned more in this direction versus the other direction. Oops, I got a hot spot there just from how I touched down. Not going to worry about it. In fact, I could put a couple more and it'll just read like there's maybe some cinnamon or nutmeg floating around in it. Blend it out some. Make it look like I did it on purpose. Remember, we don't have oopses. We have a change in decisions.
Okay.
See, we've got a hot spot there because I stayed in one area and went flat with my pen. But I just have to blend it out some. And if somebody's looking at your piece, they're not going to know that it wasn't an artistic choice that you made. Or they'll think it was an artistic choice and not an oops. And oopses, although they can be frustrating, they can also push us to do more than we thought we could do. And in that realm, they help us. I'm going to go straight. If I cross the grain too much, it is going to highlight the grain more. So if I don't want that, I need to pay attention to that. But right now I'm just flat. Going in general with the grain. Moving pretty quickly. Even though I burned this darker with the heat setting, you can see how much lighter this is burning because of how fast I'm moving. I'm just going to harp on that probably forever. Your pen control makes all the difference in your burning. The more comfortable you are with your burner, with your pen, regardless of the brand or type, the more comfortable you are with it, and you really learn how it moves, which is different for each piece of wood and different for each area of the wood, because no two grains are the same. Once you feel more confident in that, you'll burn quicker. You'll do more detail. And because you're doing those two things, you get a massive bonus of improving quicker. So all of it stacks on each other. Alright, let's see. This is still going to end up going darker, but for now, we can move on. I do need to darken where this leaf touches the glass. And when this goes darker, that means this is going to have to go darker. It's the only way it's going to read right. And we can see how dark I went there. You okay?
Huh?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm alright. Spence says happy little hot spots.
Happy little hot spots.
I think you already had this, but he said, wow, you've done a lot of work since last week. Looks awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really pushing myself to get in here and get as far as I could.
She was. She kept disappearing back into the studio.
Because I really wanted to be as far as possible. My hand's hurting. I need to go back to wearing my brace. Because my hand is hurting. Now we're going to darken this a little bit. We got some shading from our handle right here. I'll go up on the tip. Again, it may be hard for you guys to see. We'll pull back the camera in a little while. But for now, I think I'm going to put a little bit more texture because these dots in here look a little too uniform for what I want. I'm cool with it looking like cinnamon. So, it's...
Wait, what do you mean? I thought that you had cinnamon sticks.
Oh, I do. Good point. Thank you. Good point. I've just been going and going and going that my brain
They
didn't
look
even...
like cinnamon sticks.
Yeah, they're cinnamon sticks. And when I look at a close-up photo of the cup, there is cinnamon floating. So it works out to my benefit without even trying. I've been so focused on the fabric that... Let's see here. So these are not white. These are lighter, like on the edge. So I need to darken those just a bit. Alright. Let's see here. Looking at the photo.
Not bites.
Oh. Make sure I stop the camera. I do need to go darker along this edge. Oh. I've got a shadow right here of the stem that still needs to go darker. Put some heat. So I need to make sure that stays there. Alright, there we go. This is darker. This area is lighter. Actually, no. This area is the same color as this area. So that means this needs to go darker to match that. And see, this is what we're doing. We're balancing it out to make it look realistic. So I need this to go darker, which means the dark area is going to go darker. So I'm just going to keep going over. Reva jumped up on Hubcap and caused him some pain. So we need to give him some energy to help him feel better. Alright, let's see here. Do we have enough to remove? You gonna be okay? If not, I understand. We all
Oh,
understand.
I know. I'm here.
Alright. The more you burn an area, you should hopefully feel it go smoother. Especially when you go with the grain, and that is because you have, in essence, ironed down the grain. So it does feel smoother for me. So let's pull back. I think we can do some erasing, especially this area right here.
Thanks, Spence.
She got him in a very uncomfortable place.
Back of the VW book.
On the back of a VW bug, yes. We'll just leave it at that. I'm definitely not interested in embarrassing hubcap. Alright. Let's do some erasing. So I'm going to erase remember, not all the graphite will come off the first time around unless I just haven't burned in that area. And a little bit of the burning, if it's just sitting on top of the wood, may also erase, which will lighten it. But we're just going to have to darken the area anyway, so pushing hard. Whew. What I'm going to do is quickly thicken up and darken the branch, or the stem. That's the right word. Pull some heat from my pen, so I'm down here at the bottom in an area that's going to still have to go darker. But I can pull some heat, go up on my tip. It does need to go thicker, especially since I just erased the lines. And I had been trying to stay off the line. Just on my tip. Oop, I felt the grain grab that one. See, because I'm going slower and dragging, I've got areas that are burning darker, but I can use that to my advantage because the stem is never a solid, even tone. I'm going to try to go a little darker on the bottom to give it weight and shading. So by touching down on the bottom first, we can darken that area, but also my brain just stopped.
It's okay. I never started.
You never started. The train hit the tunnel wall. There was two reasons. One, it's darkening where it needs to darken. And two, yep, the train just hit the wall. The conductor is out yelling and screaming at the tunnel. Oh boy. I got a whole thing going on, don't I? Oh well. We all have those days, and Mercury's about to be in retrograde, and there's a full moon tomorrow. So,
It's pretty bright last night.
yeah, she's full tomorrow and Wednesday, or the 5th and the 6th. So we have it coming behind the glass right here. Remember, we gotta have a lighter. It's lighter behind the glass because it's refracting. But we need it to be back there, just like we need the shadow. Put the shadow in. I think we'll connect it to about there. All the way across. We need it. The size of the shadow depends on how close or further away our object is, and because our object is closer, it's going to be a tighter shadow. Can even be smaller than the stem. There we go. Let's pull back the camera so we can see how just that area is doing. Alright, I think the stem looks better. The shadow probably needs to go a little darker, but I'm going to wait on that until we put other things in. That way we know what's going on. Looking. There is no shadow in the photo because remember I layered things and I didn't draw the shadow in. Let's see. But we don't want it to overly stand out. The stem still, I think, needs to go darker, but we're going to leave that for now because there we go. We do have to have the surrounding area burned in more so we know how much we're adjusting. I'm going to bump down to 2.5 because I don't have a whole lot of burning in this leaf, but I do need to get more in there. Touch down in a hot area or a dark area, pull the heat. I'm looking. I want to get enough in so I can once again erase. And remember, we're also adding color. So that will darken some of the burn because the wood's going to darken from getting wet. So let's get some darks in here. We want it to look like it's folding in. I put this stem in right here already. Remember, this is where negative burn really helps make a difference because the pumpkin in the background is going to help shape the leaf. If I wasn't putting color, I would definitely do more burn. Reva starts thinking she can play and get in her sister's face, and her sister just is not having it. Let's see here. Touch down. I'm going to bring it in. I think I'm going to darken that one a little bit more. I'm not darkening all of these lines because we're not going to see them all connect. They're going to come in and out. Excuse me, in and out, in and out. So I need to... Sorry, I needed to reshape the leaf right here before I forgot. This leaf, I've decided, is going to, because we have green in the pumpkin, so when we're adding color, I'm going to pull green from the inside of this leaf and the inside of the other leaf with red and or purple tips. That way we see a variation in the color as it's changing. But by adding the green, the same green that we use in the pumpkin, it's going to bring it all together and make it look more realistic. Bring this dark up a little bit. Remember, with leaves, don't have to be exact because it will look like a leaf pretty much regardless of what you do. Let's see here. What is this one doing? This is our dark part of the coffee. I feel like I need to better shape this leaf. See, I need a dark right up against here. And this dark also later on, when we add the color, will act like a stop and kind of stop any color from bleeding without us having to put any lines in. To see how I had to go back and forth, back and forth. There's no one set.
I'm getting a little low.
We're getting a little what?
Low on the screen.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you. Let's see here. See, I brought this stem over the leaf. It's not how I originally did the photo. So we're going to put this stem in. This was a curve of the leaf. Let's see. How did that go? I kind of lost my shape right there. I'm going to darken part. Go lighter because it's moving up and then it bends over. And let's do some erasing. Right now I'm using the Vanish 4-in-1 eraser. That's my favorite eraser. And anything we see me doing on this leaf, the same thing's going to happen on the other one. And the fabric here has already really helped shape that part. But I do need to add some darks behind here before I fully erase, so I don't lose my leaf. I'm trying to follow my lines. Because it looks like I did lose a little bit. So I need to darken here. Let's see, this leaf went up. It's right there. Darken some of the glass in this handle. And we would have a shadow from this leaf. And I know I've burned over some area that's going to have color. It's going to have yellow in this pumpkin and orange. This is just going to darken our shadow. So we're going to tighten this up. And see how it now shapes this leaf a little bit better. Let's see, it came down. So we do need some shadow. There we go. Now we have it. I'm going to pull down the camera a little bit because I keep apparently going off. But now we have more of the shape. So we're going to come over here and we're going to do the same thing. So that I can erase the rest of this. And this is a really light burn, but it's just enough to keep the shape. So this is what I mean by don't try to finish everything subject-wise in one sitting, because you're going to be adjusting. You're going to do a lot of adjusting. This just gives you that room to do that adjustment. Alright, let's do some erasing. Regardless of how much detail I get in for this live, because it's only an hour and there's a lot more work to be done, we'll still wipe it down so we can see what's going on. So both of these maple leaves are going to have green, purple, and red. Let's see here. Touch down in a dark area. I think I'm going to pull that. There we go. I think I like that better. We got shadow. Let's see, what is this doing? Because this leaf is overlapping the top, this branch of the leaf. And so even though these areas look like they're dark burns, they really aren't. Even though I did that, it's still not really dark. And it's still going to give us room to add color. So I'm just going to pull this out a little bit. Remember, we want to make everything look like we did it on purpose, even if in that moment we didn't. Alright, so now you see more of the leaf. Okay, this comes down. And I'm just at 2.5, moving pretty quickly. We do have those cast shadows from the glass, the leaf, and the stem. So this pumpkin does need to go darker with our lightest area up here. to see how I just define this leaf without any outlines. And that's my goal. Plus this grain. Definitely. There we go. Put a little bit more dark. Where the darks are, that's where the orange goes. Just trying to do what I can so that I can pull the graphite. This is a pretty big indent of the pumpkin. That I do want to stand out more. Same here. I'm up on my edge. Just tightening it up. Same here. Alright, let's see how much more we need to put in to make sure that it looks realistic. For me, that's my biggest goal. If you're doing more stylized, that's awesome too. I think we have enough information. But now we can definitely see that that shadow for the stem needs to go darker. So flat. Just using the width of my tip. And remember, a shadow is distorted, so if it doesn't match perfectly, that's actually good. This does need to go darker here. So it stands off from the leaf, and I think add a bit more shadow here. And I can keep going and making it thicker. But let's back off and see how. See, we did a lot of burning by that leaf because of how the light's hitting. Let's see if I can. There. Now you can see there's a bit more. But now we also have the leaf shape standing out. We do need to do, it looks like, a little bit more in the cup. I'm actually going to darken the screen just a hair so you guys can hopefully better see. Now with the light, did you see more with the light on or off? Because it's kind of hard. Oop. There we go. I guess it's not too much of a difference. So we do need to darken, and even though I'm at a lighter setting than I was, I can still darken at this lighter setting, lower setting. Without even trying. Well, obviously I'm trying, so that doesn't sound right. Now I can tell But I need to go darker. Let's see here. That's where the leaf is. Darken off there. See, this lighter area does need to go darker in order. And I'm crossing over into the stem so I don't have a halo. The stem is not creating a halo, so I don't want a halo. So we saw how dark this is. Now all this needs to go darker, which means all this will need to go darker. And that's a back and forth, but in doing that, you really will be happier with your burning in the end. It'll feel more balanced. It will feel more complete. You won't be sitting there looking at it going, what am I missing? So right there. I can see it when I turn light angle. So the rest of this area needs to go that dark. So I can go back to that later. But looking at the screen, looks like I still need more burning on my leaf, because it looks like it's just the lines. So let's put some more burning. And again, I'm going to have to do this with the other leaf. What you will notice on this leaf is I've actually pulled darks into the bottom because I want the leaf to look like it is bending on the fabric. So that's why I made that choice. Instead of having it flat. See, I still need to darken this fabric, and now I got that. But you can see here, and even if I go flat and curve it around, I want it to look like some of this fabric is coming up over it. And I didn't think about it when I was burning last week. When we were putting these darks in. Like right here, I can pull that one a little straighter and then go down a little bit. I just want the fabric to look like it's coming up over this part of the leaf. So I'll keep working that so that it does, because right now it's a little more up and down than I want. I want this to have a softer curve. And then inside this leaf, it's curving up, so we've got this shadow. You can tell because I've been adding more to the cinnamon sticks and its shadow. That I've got a little bit more shape going on there. So for this leaf, it's a matter of going back and forth. And there's a bit of a lip. I do need to put some burning. Along the edge. Let's see here. I think we're going to add a darken here. Bring that across. We do need some shadow from this leaf. Yeah, got a little bit of shadow going on. also means we need to darken this side. Because in the photo that I used, this part of the glass is getting hit directly by light, but because of how I've stacked these, this area doesn't necessarily get that light. There we go. I'm going to have to rely on the color here when we get there. Let's put some more shadow in here. See, we're shaping the leaf. See, I'm trying to see if I've got enough burning in to erase. I haven't decided. Let's see here. What is that doing? This is coming up, folded over. Oh, there it is. That's the fold over. Let's put some more darks in here. Going to be darkest by our cinnamon sticks, because that's inside the leaf, away from the light. We have that stem that I'm going to have to erase. We can go ahead and draw it in. Oop. I spent a lot of time flipping this board, because remember, it's easier to flip your wood than it is to stand on your head. Alright. What is this? See, I extended this leaf right here. I may take it back in. I don't know if I like it. But I just kind of reshaped the leaf here, so I need to... See, even though I'm on 2.5, do you see how that dark that's burning? And that's because what part of my tip is touching down and how long I'm holding it there. Making small strokes. There we go. We're going to take that out. And I'll have to blend that out a little bit. Oh, actually that's mine. Yeah, we'll leave it. Artistic choice. So this comes up. So we're going to have to go dark right here. Bring this in. Again, the leaf is all over the place. And the color really is going to help make the difference. So I need to keep that in mind. But the darkest part is going to be in here with the cinnamon. I think I have enough going on that I can erase. Plus it gives my hand a second to reset because it's going numb. More graphite. know, we can take a minute and wipe down, I think. What time is it? Oh yeah, let's wipe down. So I'm going to take the denatured alcohol. The board is warped. Remember, last week we talked about the board being warped, and that is because of the heat. Can I roll back a little bit? Am I safe to roll back?
No, you are not.
I'm trying to back off the camera.
I can.
No, I'm just going to turn.
It is actually wedged up in between the legs.
Alright, I'm just going to do that.
Your wheels.
I think we're good. And flip this off so I don't forget. Alright, let's see here. We're going to kind of wipe down here because I still need to put more pumpkin in. But the same concept of over here is going to be on the pumpkins on these pumpkins as well. The cup, I still need to define a little bit more, but I had started erasing on the cup. Let's see here. Now that I turned my board, I think I can get a little closer for you guys. Get the camera out of my face. Alright, so here's what we're going to watch while I'm wiping, and I will wipe the dark part as well. I'm wiping with the denatured alcohol or the methylated spirits outside of the US. I'm using a shop paper towel. And because my board is warped, I have to be careful it falls. This is half a piece of paper towel. I'm going to kind of roll it up so I can get a lot of it wet without soaking it. I don't want to soak it. I keep mine in the jar. It makes it easier to get in and out of. Keep it out of your face. Wear a glove because it can dry your hands out. And squeeze a little bit off. Again, I don't want it soaking wet. Go. Put my lid back on because it's in the face. Put the lid on tight. And then when I unfold, I have more area that's wet that I can use. And we are going to go with the leaf first. But watch how the color changes. This gives you an idea when you go to varnish how much of your lights are a little too light because the wood will slightly darken. Depending on what you're using for varnish, some darken more.
You can roll back now.
Okay, just a little bit. But also, you can see a changing color in the burn itself. So, looking inside this maple leaf and my coffee mug, I can see I do need to go darker. You'll see how much of the burning comes off. That's the carbon sitting on top, as well as any oils that were in your hand. If you have lotion on, which I don't, which is why my hands are so dry. Let's see here. I'm trying to stay in just the dark area. Again, I wiped off yesterday, so less is going to wipe off from the dark area. And I went pretty dry with my paper towel. And I'm paying attention to the tonal value and what my lights are doing and what my darks are doing. Because the darks are going to darken up. But I need to see how much they're going to darken up. And based on what I'm seeing here, even my super darks need to go darker. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot coming off because I already wiped. And I kept this pretty dry. Now I can go back and erase some more, and more graphite will come off.
Andrea is here. She just showed up.
Andrea, I know the time change always throws everybody, including me, off. I tried to be good and notify, but Facebook doesn't tell everything.
She said she was peeing.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Alright, let's see here. I can back up. Watch the pause back there. I want to back up so I can back this off. There we go. Let's see here. You were right at the mic, child. Alright, I think we're about done. So I will keep doing what I was doing, but hopefully you guys can see a difference, at least in where we worked. Next week we will be adding color to this, and I've decided to use watercolor pencils. I was Karen Dosh watercolor pencils. The I can't remember what they're called. Those are what I'm going to be using. I spent 2 years waiting for a sale on Amazon for 80 pencils, or is it 80? 88? In a wood case. They were running around $300 to $400, and then for a split second they dropped down to like $125, and I jumped on them. I haven't been able to use them yet. They're all supposed to be light fast, which is why I wanted them. And we will discuss light fast next week. But I want to try these. They're artist quality pencils, so I'm really looking forward to finally giving those a go. All this will be darker and done burn next week. There will be no more burning on this. I'm pretty sure I've hit everything that we need. If not, when this goes on replay, definitely leave me, comments and questions. And if I miss something, I will get that filled in for you. Super Toasty they get more updated stuff. Let's take some of this off. I haven't wiped down there, but I did there. So while I'm talking, I'm going to try to multitask. So if you want to become a Super Toasty, just click the join next to the subscribe button. And that's $5 a month. Or more. It's totally up to you. And you get the patterns, and you get member-only lives, which there's a bunch of those now too, to go along with those patterns. And you can also join through Ko-fi. Link also down in the description. I think I covered everything. Let's see. Thank you, Wanda. Thank you, Spence. Alrighty, say it with me. You're awesome. You can do this. Why? Because you're a pyro artist. Happy burning, guys. Bye.